We are joined today by Drew Wilson, Portfolio Manager of the FAM Value Fund. Drew, it's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Great to be here, Rachel.
So to start, could you share a little bit about your background and role at Fenimore?
Right out of undergrad, I spent a couple of years as a consultant, but I always wanted to be an investor. So in 1995, I joined a firm in the Midwest. That firm was very similar to Fenimore. So during my 15 years there, I would see a lot of the research team from Fenimore out at company visits, and we would bounce ideas off of each other. Really got to know and like the team. And when they had an opening in 2011, I jumped on it and came on board as an equity analyst, and subsequently joined the management team of the FAM Value Fund.
What do you see as the biggest misconception about investing held by investors?
It's maybe not a misconception, but just a confusion of the difference between investing and speculating. There's a lot of definitions for both out there, but I would just say investing is buying an asset with the expectation of a return through either dividends or income of some kind and appreciation in the value of that asset. Speculation is buying something where oftentimes you have no idea what the value is in the hopes that you're going to find somebody to sell it to at a higher price than you bought it. We see a lot of that now, whether it's meme stocks or NFTs or cryptocurrencies. And I've had a lot of people come to me and ask about them, and they think they're investing, but it's actually speculation.
What is the hardest lesson you've ever learned about investing?
Maybe not a lesson, but probably the hardest part about being a successful investor is often you have to be contrarian. So you've got to buy businesses when they're unloved or misunderstood, and whereas it's good because you've got to do a lot of work, get to know the business, get to know its competitors, gain a lot of conviction in it to hold it. But sometimes it's difficult to do that when consensus is telling you you're wrong.
If you didn't work in financial services, what would be your profession and why?
Probably still be a consultant. The role of a business consultant and investor is pretty similar in that you have to be passionately curious about what makes a business run, about its competitive situation, and the trials it may face. And you also go to work every day having to solve a very complex puzzle. Now, in consulting, the puzzles are different than investing, but it's the same kind of reward every day. In my Walter Mitty moments, I imagine myself as a forest ranger because I can't think of anything better than spending all day in nature.
What is the best advice you've ever received about investing?
The most important concept of investing is the power of compounding. I agree with one of the smartest men in the world that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. And if you learn that early, achieving your financial plan is a lot easier and probably a lot less stressful.
What is your favorite activity outside of investing?
Traveling with my wife. We both have the same sense of adventure and love for nature, and we just love to explore together.
What do you like most about working at Fenimore?
I love a lot of things about working at Fenimore. I'd say one of them is that I get to do what I love to do the right way. Every decision, whether it's an investment decision or a business management decision, the first thing we ask is what's right for the investor. This sounds maybe like it's natural, but in a lot of firms it's not the case. A lot of times the first question is, what can we do to grow? And oftentimes, maybe not always, but oftentimes the growth imperative is not necessarily in the best interest of the shareholder or the client. But here at Fenimore, it's always what's in the best interest of the shareholder or client.
What makes Fenimore different?
There's a lot of things that makes Fenimore different. I think one thing that's underappreciated is the degree to which we try to educate our investors. It can be very scary to give the money that our investors have spent so much time accumulating, making sacrifices to accumulate. It can be scary to give that money to somebody to invest. And so we want to put people at ease by understanding what we do and why we do it. So beyond meetings, we've got shareholder meetings and client gatherings, and we send out a lot of communications, and those are all fantastic. But even beyond that, if you're a shareholder and you call the fund, the phone down the hall rings. You're not calling a call center somewhere. You're calling someone here who can help you understand what's going on in the fund. And if your questions go beyond that, you can call me or any of the other portfolio managers. That you can't do at Fidelity or any of the big investment firms. And on the private client side, our relationship managers are absolutely fantastic. They're rarely in the office because they're often out at our clients' offices or their homes. And if they are in the office, they're on the phone doing the exact same thing. So we just really want to make sure that our clients and investors and shareholders are comfortable with our investment philosophy and approach, and we spend a lot of time and energy trying to explain that.
The Take 5 with Fenimore series is brought to you by Fenimore Asset Management. To learn more about Fenimore Asset Management and to view important disclosures, please visit us online at www.fenimoreasset.com.